20 in the golden one dropping wrestling talk. Wrestling adventure storytelling, no fake news here. Yo.
Welcome back, everyone, to Jamie and Mike's Wrestling Adventures. Sometimes I try to say Mike's name first. I don't know what it is. I directly go to it. Maybe because
I'm the golden one. That's why.
You're also known as the mayor.
The
mayor? People don't know that. But so we're back. We're holding court this week, guys. It is Friday, December the 19th, the last Friday before Christmas. This is the last weekend before Christmas, rolling in tomorrow. So get that last minute gifts in if you're one of them late shoppers. But me personally, Mike, I hate late shopping. Or I like to order online. So that's my new thing. So
yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
And then if you need a Christmas idea, check out Cowboy Revolution.
Oh man, he's right up on it already. Cowboy Revolution. That's right.
Good nice hats, shirts, tumblers, stickers, all that good stuff.
We got it popped up there for you guys so you know which website to go to. And like Mike was saying, go check it out. When you go to check out Jamie T123 for 15% off. And who does it help, Mike?
The veterans.
That's right. And that's an important thing, guys. Always support your veterans. So the good news is I went out to Clearwater last Saturday. We did the Wrestle Expo, the convention out there at the OCC. WWN, which to a lot of people, if you don't know who they are, they basically were the promoters of Evolve before if you watch WWE and that's all you know, wrestling fans, that's where it came from. They bought the whole shebang. They bought the name. Gabe Sapolsky that helped started it with Sal here in Clearwater. He's also employed by WWE at this time. He scouts talent and so forth, and I believe he works with AAA and probably with the Evolve group still. But anyway, so if you don't know the backstory, that's where I went out there for. They had on Saturday, it was like me and Big Vito, the Don of JCW, which he's doing phenomenal in there. His character is so great. You just forget how good that pro wrestling can be at times. And when I mean that is, when you hear these backstage segments with Russo, he's interacting with Vito, and Vito's interacting with the ICP guy, and they're just going on, man. It's just so awesome to see a little bit of the Russo influence, which was part of the Attitude Era, and the WCW part that he came in and helped them out the last year. People, that you hear so much negativity towards this man, but if you look at it, their product is refreshing to what we're currently seeing on any other landscape out there. And just wanted to say it was good seeing him. We'll talk more about JCW in a minute. Big Vito's always been a good guy. He's one of the good guys in the business to me. And then Billy Silverman, former WCW referee as well, was there. He was signing and having pictures and taking pictures and signing autographs and signing stuff. One item, Mike, I will say it was really cool that I got to sign, and you may have saw it, I put it on social media, was the WCW jacket that's signed by, God, these names on there. I was reading names that I had forgot about, and I'm like, dude, I've seen this jacket. I don't know where I've seen it at. Is it online? He's like, he's like, yeah, people probably took pictures of it. And then I asked him, I said, well, you're at WrestleCade, any? And he's like, yeah, I've been there a couple times. And I believe I may have saw it at WrestleCade when he had a bunch of the guys there that weekend signing. It's the coolest jacket ever. It's the old WCW logo. And I got to sign that. It was really cool for him to ask. I met another fan, Mike, that had WCW Thunder shirts. And he had me sign them, and Vito and Billy and all that good stuff. Really good guy. He got a picture, signed it to him. Can't remember his name, either one of these guys' names, but sorry about that. But I will say it was great interacting with these two fans in particular, because it's a memory that I got with these two, bringing old merch and having you sign it, and it's just cool. And then Cahagas was there, Triple Crown NWA champion. He also does a seminar type thing with Sonny Ono and Saturn where they pick talent and actually they take them to Japan. So that's a really cool thing for inspiring athletes out there. And you hear they're doing their seminars in your area, or if they're not in your area, if you're trying to make it, I would suggest going out there to something like that to possibly get a big opportunity. You never know where it lead. So it was a phenomenal day for me last Saturday. I didn't make Sunday's festivities. I had other prior engagements I had to take care of. But, you know, that's life. But I will say that I've told myself that it was good seeing old friends. And I got to be better about keeping up with all your friends because none of us really know how our lives are going to be. And it was just so good picking back up with old friends. I hadn't saw Billy, Mike, and probably, I don't know, it might have been the closing of WCW. And it may have not have been that long, but it's been a long time, right? It's been at least 20 years, if not the 24, almost 25 years that the company's been out. And then Vito at least been 8, 10 years. I've left Florida for 7 years. And it's at least been a good 8 years or more since I saw Vito last. And it was just good interacting with them and seeing Sal and the WWN crew. And a possibility that I'll be back in the mix in ring and maybe other opportunities with WWN. So that's the thing, man. So it was good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that picture of the jacket and everything. That's a pretty cool jacket. Like
Yes.
it's purple with the gold, yellow, WCW.
Yep.
Had a bunch of signatures on it that I saw, but
Yes.
so
Yeah, cool
Okay.
stuff, man. It was a fun day, you know, and I know Sunday they had a couple other guys there, Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Bushwhacker Luke. Yeah. Actually, I got licked by the Bushwhackers once. 1994, Charlotte, North Carolina, for the Italian Stallions big show at the Grady Cole Center. That was really cool. I was 16 years old, got to work with the Bushwhackers. Man, that brought back some memories. But nonetheless, they were there Sunday. I didn't get out there, like I said. My other old buddy, I haven't talked to since I got back in Florida yet. I need to catch up with Knobs. I know he's had some hard times. No pun intended to our favorite promo of the American Dream of all time. But he had an autograph signing in Brandon, Florida on last Sunday. But like I said, I was tied up. I couldn't do anything else that day, even though if I wanted to. But, man, it's just good bringing back memories. And last weekend did, and it made you want to do more stuff with the business, regardless of what it is. You know, helping out with the new guys or signing autographs and meeting fans or in the ring, you know. So who knows what's going to happen. But working on things.
yeah, Vito looked like he's still in pretty good shape.
Man, Vito, I don't think he's aged. God, good gracious.
Yeah,
I need to ask him what his secrets are because
yeah, you definitely need it.
yeah, you need to be quiet. But he's definitely looking good, man. Had the nice tan, carrying on his gimmick, all dressed and snazzy. Always professional, man. You know, I'll be honest. I went in with a pair of jeans on, you know, just a shirt, looking, you know, like, hey, I'm in the wrestling business, I guess, you know, and the rest of the guys are in their other clothes, but workout pants or jeans or whatever. Vito comes in decked out like he's on JCW with the big suit, got the mafia look going on, got a hat on, bro, and just looks like he's ready to go. And I tell you, if anyone, there's no one more professional than him. Because, you know, I'll tell you this right now. Vito's the real deal. Vito is what you see is what you get. And if he's your friend, he's your friend. You know, if he's got beef with you, he's got beef with you. But if he's your friend, he's your friend. And he's always had my back since day one, since the first day I ever met this guy at ECW when I went into there. But Had my back there. He had my back at WCW. Always put me over. And but you know, he walks the walk too, man. He dresses that gimmick, but he's not a guy. He's not his gimmick. That's Vito. You know, a lot of guys will be like, for example, when I say gimmicks, a lot of guys will be like, you know, like the Russians, Nikita and Ivan. Okay, they were Russians, but everybody knows now that they're not really from Russia. I mean, the cat's out of the bag, right? It's been out for years. And Nikita, you know, he's just like me and you. He's from Minnesota, though. But, you know, he did that gimmick, but outside he was, I believe his name's Scott Simpson. Well, he actually got legally changed, so his real name's really Nikita Koloff now. But anyway, that's the difference I'm talking about. Vito is what you see, and you get it at all times. But he's got a good heart, man, and he's a good dude. If he likes you, he likes you, like I said. And yeah, it was great. We can go on and on all day about that. Now, being that we're talking about Big Vito, we can go ahead and talk about JCW and get that, you know, conversation out of the way, right? So, like I was saying earlier, you know, you look at these segments and the interaction with Russo, Vito, Russo with any of the talent, it just brings back so many memories of when he came into WCW as the powers to be. I don't know if you remember that era. I know you've watched a lot of it because you were still really young at that time. But, you know, it was just the product itself brings back so many memories of that era. The in-ring, the way they're producing the matches with these talents, you know, they got some good talent on that roster. James Stormer's working with them. Kerry Morton's working with them. But we're also talking about Caleb Conley. Caleb, I've known Caleb since 2004, 2005 when I lived in Charlotte. He worked at Hot Spots, and now he's done a lot of other stuff, TNA as well, but he's here now, right? JCW. So you got that going on. I don't know if we're seeing Vito in the ring, but I think he still could go, and I think he would have a really good match with some of these younger talents and, you know, maybe teach them something they don't know already. But the product itself, like I said, it reminds you of ECW, WCW, and a Attitude Era all wrapped into one. And I think once they really get their niche, and they're not there yet, I guarantee you. So if you're enjoying it already, I'm telling you, they're not there yet where they want to be. And when they get there where they want to be, they're going to knock so many balls out of the park, you ain't going to even know what's going on. This thing's going to get good on the way they're doing it. It's going to get even better. I'm guarantee it. So be ready for some really good wrestling in months to come. If you're already enjoying it, you're going to love it. I guarantee it. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm excited for it. The wrestling business is a good time right now. You know, not only do you have the WWE, they're still rolling. You got AEW. You got TNA at the deal, and January coming up, you got the NWA still doing their thing, and now you got JCW on a roll. Man, you got a lot of wrestling to choose from out there.
Yeah. Speaking of WWE and AEW, what do you think about AEW winning that award? Was the best promotion of 2025?
Oh, Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. Do you really think AEW is better than WWE?
Man,
Or do you think a lot of people are just mad about Saturday night?
I don't know if it's got much to do with.
How long is the votes?
I don't know.
Do they vote like months in advance, or is it like all at one time?
Right. I didn't even know that was going on, to be honest with you, dude. I didn't know they had the poll until I read what happened with it, right, online. And I'm sitting there going, well, who's gauging this is what I'm asking, right? And was it a fan vote, or did Sports Illustrated come out with this? That's the thing. Do we know for sure?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So I don't know.
When we shared it with each other, that's the first time I heard about it.
Right. Well, just like anything else in life, everything's subjective. Pro wrestling very much is. So, um, everybody likes something different, right? And we talked about this before. You know, what one person likes, the other one's going to crap on, and vice versa. And it's always been that way. And we all have opinions. Don't matter if we've been in the business or we haven't been in the business. We're all going to have an opinion regardless. And we're all fans at the end of the day. The fans are fans, and the guys were fans, or we wouldn't never got in it. I mean, there's no way to talk around it. You can sit there all day, and they can. I'll never sit here and downgrade a fan. I'll just say sometimes that their points don't make sense when they're bickering and arguing over things. But overall, because the reason I say that, and I'll go back to this, because pro wrestling is supposed to be enjoyed just like any other kind of entertainment. Movie, a dance, performance, a sporting event. Pro wrestling, like it, don't judge it so much. That's I hate that every fan wants to critique it. That's my problem. I want you to be a fan. It's just everything you critique every little thing they do. And it's always on the internet, and everybody's always fighting over it. Back in my day, and I'm not outdating myself here, we didn't have to worry about the internet. If we liked something, we liked it. If we didn't, we didn't. But wrestling's subjective, so maybe that was a fan poll, but I doubt it was a fan poll, because I'm gonna tell you, there's more people that have eyes on WWE than TNA. I mean, than TNA and AEW. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So how are we getting a fan? If it's a fan poll, how are we saying that all these fans voted for AEW? So I don't think it's a fan poll. I think it's Sports Illustrated did an article. Maybe now listen. This may be out there a little bit. Maybe because ESPN is affiliated with the WWE, and now Sports Illustrated. I don't think ESPN and Sports Illustrated affiliated. So we need to look that up to make sure before I make this. Well, never mind. We can retract it. But I honestly believe they're not affiliated. So maybe Sports Illustrated is like, well, oh yeah, well, ESPN has bought. They bought into it. They got the TV deals, right? Well, maybe since nobody cares, they've had. So we look at it, right? Everybody's bitched since they went to ESPN. Am I correct? So maybe Sports Illustrated was like, well, this will be like, oh, we'll say that this wrestling company is better than yours, and you're on ESPN, so screw off. Maybe that's what's going on. Publicity type thing. I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense because how hot TNA is.
Yep.
Like, you would think they would be above AEW,
right?
In my opinion,
right?
Just how hot they've been, at least the last 6 months. They've been hot for a while, but they've been really hot. Say like the last 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
That should have put them way in front of AEW. Okay. In my opinion.
You talking about wrestling wise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Sports Illustrated would, in my opinion, of course, WWE #1. And then TNA should have been #2 over AEW. But somehow you got somebody that should have been at least third winning the best promotion of the year.
Gotcha. Well, once again,
But what you're saying is it makes sense because TNA, WWE's got that working relationship, and ESPN and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah. I just don't know if it's a fan poll, because if more eyes generally see one product over the other, unless the WWE fans are so pissed off at certain stuff that they're like, we're going to say this company's better regardless if we watch it or not. I don't know. I don't think it was a fan poll, but I just think it was Sports Illustrated. And maybe we should look into it a little more. I just think they picked it, and they may have reasoning behind it why they picked it. I don't know why. And I don't have a hand in the basket or anything like that. And I could care less what their poll says. And I haven't watched a lot of the new product recently. You know that. We talk about that all the time. I have to research a lot of stuff because I don't even keep up with current wrestling news on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis no more like I used to, and I darn sure don't watch it. But a lot of that has to do with other things that I got going on in life. I can't watch TV all the time, and then I just can't get back on track to watch it. So I pick and choose what shows I watch, and and right now, I got hooked on the Russo JCW stuff, and I watch it weekly. Other than that, I watch a lot of old wrestling when I get time, something that brings back memories. Sometimes it's WCW stuff I've done, and sometimes it's back in the '80s and '90s before I got in the business or made it to WCW, right? So, but I'm an old school Mark, and I'll say that I'm an old school '80s, early '90s WCW guy, and but that made me want to get in the business, and so I did. But we all like different stuff, like I said, so everything's subjective. Everything can be talked about. Everybody can disagree or agree. And that's what makes everything so great. If you're a pro wrestling fan, regardless of what you like it. But if you're like me, you like all wrestling. Because when I was growing up, here's the thing. I like independent wrestling too. Groups you don't know about. There's a lot of groups out there people don't know about. And a lot of people don't give them a shot. They just think WWE is the only wrestling group out there. But that's just because what you see on big TV, and you don't give yourself an opportunity to go see anything else. And but I like all wrestling, man. I find something good in all of it. The only wrestling, and I talked about this a few weeks ago, that I really don't care for is deathmatch wrestling, because I just don't get it for that long a time. 20 minutes of beating each other with light tubes and chairs and wrap yourself in barbed wire all night, and every match is the same. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to be truthful, and I'm not discrediting these guys that go do it, because I wouldn't do it. Kudos to you for doing it, and God bless you at the end of the day. But I just think that pro wrestling needs it's a certain formula that always works. And it's still working to this day. And regardless if the style of wrestling's changed in the U.S. since the 80s and early 90s and the 70s and all that, right? It's all changed. We got into Lucha Libre. We got into a faster pace Japan style, because that's what Omega was. Omega mixed Lucha Libre with Japan style wrestling, the Hardy Boys and them, and was doing pro wrestling American style with it, and they put this great formula together, and that's why you got the matches on AEW and TNA and Ring of Honor over the years, is because of groups in the 90s like the Hardy Boys and such started it. And I enjoy all that. I enjoy everything. So I'm just saying, have an open mind, and just because I told you I don't like a certain style doesn't mean you can't. We don't need to argue over it. We're all different, but I just think that as much as people say it's changed, they're still using the main formula that's there at hand, and that's why it's still working. That's the thing. Yes, Adam Page is having a match with. I'm trying to think of somebody he's had one with recently that's just been way out there, and they did a lot of outlandish moves. I know he worked. God, I can't think of the kid's name. I'm just so bad at this time. Did Strickland work Page recently, or in the last few months?
Yeah, probably about 3 months ago.
I want to say I remember it this year. Anyway, but you got to think about, they're doing all and Young Bucks, for example, they do all these flashy moves, and then they kick out, right? And they kick out. Yes, that's changed a lot, but the same formula, they're still using the same pro wrestling formula in sports entertainment that works. And it's giving you a match that's competitive, and you're both trying to win the match. And at times, it's changed so much, dude, where they do this one big move. I don't know what it's called. It's the one where it's like the Undertaker pile driver flip into it. I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah. I don't know. They changed it the last couple times. Every time they changed their gimmick up, they kind of changed the name a little bit.
But somebody will kick out, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times, not every
Yeah.
time, but a lot of times they'll kick out,
Yeah.
and you'll be like, "Oh my God!" But the point here, they still go at it, and they still go after their opponent, and they still are going for what? They're going for the win, and that's what pro wrestling is meant to be. You're going to have a winner, you're going to have a loser, right? And no, regardless, even though the moves are crazier and people kick out more nowadays, and you go, "Oh my God," more than you would ever imagine. The thing is, they still got the same formula. Somebody's trying to be competitive to win the match. Bam. And then they got storylines where the guy's like, I'm basically like, "Yeah, I'm going to kill you." You know what I'm saying? And the storylines make sense if you do them right. It's the same formula. It's different. That's the way you got to look at it. But all the major U.S. pro wrestling companies still use the same formula. WWE, AEW, TNA, NWA, even Vince Russo and ICP's JCW use the same formula. Just different, right? So anyway, I can go on and on about that because there'll be guys that will complain. I'm an old school guy, you know that, but I do respect everything that happens today, and I understand that everything changes. And back when I was in the Monday Night War era, because I was in WCW in the closing days, the business had changed so much from what I'd got in it 6 years earlier when I broke in, but nature of the beast, but same formula at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You're definitely old school for sure.
Are you calling me old?
No, I would never do that on the
No,
podcast.
that's a lie. I can't find my eye today. I think it's missing.
Thank goodness.
I know you love that thing.
Oh, I hate that stupid thing.
Julia May had took it back. I don't know what she did with it.
I hope she did.
She brought it home from work one day. So anyway, we were talking about JCW. I don't know how we got off on that. Oh, we talked about Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
And then I took it on a tirade out in the left field somewhere again. That's what I tend to do, Pete. So I hope everybody enjoys that, my going off basis and talking about everything at one point. My mind starts wondering once we start talking. But
Well, do you want to kind of swerve it back to the road that we planned on? And let's talk about a little bit. Let's do a little bit of NXT right now.
Okay.
And we talked about last week about Russ messing up the counts and stuff like that.
Yep. It happens.
Did you see the bad count ending to that North America Women's Championship match?
No. Before we go any further. Okay. I haven't watched it, right? But from everything that I've heard, that I guess the young lady got stunned, and then she got herself pinned because the referee counted his count like he's supposed to, and the title changed, but they still didn't have. They had the wrong music cued or something, and it was just kind of a mass confusion look to it. Am I right about that?
Yeah, you wrapped that up pretty quickly.
Okay. So here's the thing, and I wish I could pull the clip up right now. I don't know where I'd find it at. So let me see if I can pull it up, okay? And I'm going to watch it, and I'll give you my honest opinion whether I believe it was more than one party's fault or just one party's fault. But if everything matches up with what I just said, it's probably no one's real fault at the end of the day. The girl got knocked silly. She gets pinned because the ref has to count her shoulders down. And that's the end of it. And that's just the way it is. Is she still currently the champion after that?
No.
What happened now? There's more to this.
So the girl that Penn won the championship, and it apparently messed up like 3 weeks of planning of storylines.
Okay.
And I think they're supposed to have a rematch uh, on their New Year's pay-per-view or something,
Okay.
or NXT special or whatever.
Oh, I got the
But
match right here. Okay.
so I mean, it's the ref knew that not supposed to. That one girl Blake wasn't supposed to lose the championship.
Yeah.
He could have played it off. I'm just saying he could have played it off because like, but because the wrestler like she raised her hand, tried to kick out, but her shoulder was still on the ground. But in his defense, the shoulder was down.
Right.
After he counted 3, then she kicked out. But a lot of the wrestlers, they're getting lazy on kicking out,
Okay.
in my opinion, because they're raising their arm,
Yep.
but they're not kicking out. Or no, they're just lifting their arms to make it look like they're kicking out.
Yes.
So it's getting lazy.
Okay. So here's the thing with the kickouts, and then I'll watch this short. I'm getting to the end of this match, so I don't have to watch it all. We don't have time for all that today. And I don't, and right now I really don't want to watch it all. I mean, I'm not saying I won't watch it all later, but right now I don't really care to watch it all. So, back to the kickouts. Every worker, this is what I've learned. Every worker will kick out differently for the most part. There's never going to be the same type of kick out. There may be a guy that you counting 1, 2, you're like, is this guy going to kick out? Then there may be a guy, it's 1. Before you even hit 2, he kicks out, but you hit 2 anyway. But he kicks out, so it don't matter. It's only 2. So he kicks out early. Then, like, before the 2. But back to that, it depends on what area of the match you're in. Because if you're early on in the match, if a guy kicks out at 1, it makes sense. He's not tired yet. That's okay. But if you're at the end of the match and you kick out at basically 1, you're supposed to be worn out. Don't like it so much. First to match, it makes sense. You're not tired yet. So that's okay. But back to the kickouts. You're going to have a lot of guys that like to kick out at the I can't say very last second because it only takes 3 seconds to pin somebody, but the very last moment. How about that? The guy likes to kick out at the very last moment, and you got to watch out for that. So the thing there's 2 ways to look at this. You got to learn everybody you work with and how they kick out, even the littlest things, even how they kick out. And if you don't learn that, that's part of reffing that you need to pick up. And then I don't know if you remember, you may watch, like a lot of the refs nowadays don't do this. And one time I did it, one time I stopped. Now I go back to it sometimes. Is when you're counting and you go under their shoulder with your hand to make sure it's flat before you count even 1, right? Then that way they know you're there. Then you won, but when you do your 1, you just don't hit the mat. You say it so they can hear you. Because a lot of times they're in the moment, they're not paying attention to the mat. But if you do both, you'll get them somewhere, whether they hear it or they hear the mat hit or they hear you say it, right? So that's another 2 things that good referees need to realize is you should add these to your repertoire. But when you go down, and you got to know how, if they're a late kick outer and you're afraid to hit 3, and it's so hard on a referee, and people don't realize that, but you got to be, when you come down and you think you're going to hit 3, but it's not 3, you got to know how to wave that off where the crowd hopefully doesn't pick up on it. And then you don't want the office to pick up on it because they'll be like, well, why didn't you count 3? But then again, if you wave it off good, nobody notices it. It really don't matter at the end of the day. It matters what the fans see and what they, So referees are in a hard spot, guy. You know what I'm saying, Mike? I mean, I did it for so many years, full time, and now I do it occasionally. You're in a hard spot, And a real good ref will learn everything he can to make that easier even for himself, because you don't want to be put in predicaments. We've all been put in predicaments. Every referee's been put in some predicament that made him uneasy. It's how you react to it and how you move on from it is what sets you apart from the rest. No one's perfect, but I'm getting ready to watch this. But all I'm saying is, when they do the counts, you gotta add things to your count, like check the shoulder, let them know you're there. Maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna watch it. Maybe he did it. If he didn't, if he'd have checked the shoulders of the girl, she'd have known. Even though she's knocked silly, he's about to count. 1, okay. 2, right? When he gets to 3, and I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I do it if I don't know the people. Kick out before I hit 3, right? That way they know to kick out. Remind them, hey, you need to kick the hell out. Because a lot of times they're in the moment, not just knocked out silly. So I don't know what her point was. Maybe she was knocked out silly. Maybe these girls are just in the moment. They're having a good time. They're enjoying being a WWE superstar. Who the hell knows? But referee has a tough job. So we're going to see if it's really anything to do with his job that he needs to improve, or was it just the night at the office, something messed up?
I think it was just a bad situation. But I will say this: everybody wants to call it a botch and all that stuff, because at the end, like you knew that she wasn't supposed to win, but they played the other girl's music, and like it was bad.
Yeah.
But I like this referee doing this a couple weeks ago when that female ref made it so obvious that it was a botch the whole entire time. But I forgot what that match.
Oh, she got all
Okay.
that. Is it enough? Whoa.
So I watched it. Let me go back again. I watched it twice. I'm watching it a third time. So I'm watching this, and I'm going to tell you what looks okay. So her move here, the way she lands on her, dude, I think she did knock her out.
Yeah.
Oh, that looked tough. Got her hard. Yeah, that was not good. You know what, though? Her arm came up. Oh, that's a hard call.
But see, the shoulder never came up until after. But what I'm saying about the lazy pin or kick out, the lazy kick out, is her arm goes up, but she has that same, just the arm raising, even if you watch her back in AEW, when she was in AEW.
Oh, she was in AEW?
Yeah.
What's her name?
In WWE, Blake Moreau or something. I mean, she's a good wrestler and everything.
So this other one lands on her so hard, though, and awkwardly, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, so basically what happened is he did nothing wrong. Okay, the ref did nothing wrong. I'm 100% in his defense.
But do you think he could have, knowing that she wasn't supposed to, how close it was, he could have played it off?
Well, that's a double-edged sword. And let me tell you why, and I'll tell you more about this finish. Double-edged sword there. He'd have waved it off. Girl would have kept the title, probably. They went into their finish, whatever it was. He could have still got backlash. Or they could have looked over it. It's hard to say. The only thing I can say is that's why it's so hard that when you're put in predicaments as a referee, like I said before, you make a moment judgment, and you got to stay with that judgment. And he did. I'll give him 100% credit. It looked fine. And when he got up, he was sure that that's what he was supposed to do. He didn't look like a deer in headlights. He didn't look like, oh, my God, I screwed up, or, oh, my God, I counted her out. I wasn't supposed to. He looked like he did what he was supposed to do. The call looked good. He played it off very well. I cannot say nothing bad about that. The only thing he could have done that would have maybe saved it, and it's like you're saying, to having no title change, was when he knew that, because her arm came up, right? We noticed that. Her shoulder really didn't get off the mat, but she got her arm up. But that may be how she kicks out half the time. I have to watch her matches. So if it is, he could have played that off if his count was a little bit slower, because he could have swiped it, right? Swiped down in and 2-2 and just played it good. And by the sound of the reaction of the crowd being screwed up in their mind from that, they may not even have noticed nothing if he'd have done it. I think they noticed the finish being flubby-dubby with the kick out not happening. Then they would have probably realized he didn't count 3, right? But, in all retrospect, he's in the moment. He did what he thought was best, and we all do it as officials, and none of us are perfect. But you can't blame nobody. You can't blame the girls in this situation. You can't blame the referee in this situation. No one's to blame in this call. No one. Clearly, she's winded. She did get her arm up, her shoulder up, but he already hit 3 or whatever. It looked like maybe at the same time. Her arm came up right at when he hit 3, and then he just singled the bell. The announcers were off cue. Booker and all of them were like, he made a bad call. They even called him out on it, though. So I feel bad for him there. But I don't think he got any backlash from the office. And I really, by looking at that video, I don't blame nobody. It was just the heat of the moment. Something happened. Everybody did their job, and I think it came out professionally, and it looked fine. And that's just my take. And I have nothing bad to say about none of it.
I think it got bad after both the girls looked at each other all confused.
Yeah.
And then Blake Monroe, the one that lost, her music started playing.
Yeah.
And then they cut it off, and it was just, I don't know, it was a situation where that from the production team, it hit the music, I think made it worse. And then the commentary, they knew what the finish was, and then, I don't know. I think if the commentary then the video didn't play, it would have been a whole lot better.
It threw everybody off that was involved, for sure.
Yeah.
But I get it. I understand it. And it's just, pro wrestling's a live performance. That's another thing people's got to realize. And it's different from any other sport. Football's entertainment. It's sports entertainment. It is. Baseball, sports entertainment. It's sports. It's entertainment. But pro wrestling is different in the aspect of, and I still think all sports are work to a certain point. I'm sorry. But we're not going to talk about that today. But I will say this. Everybody knows the way pro wrestling is. So it's hard. It's like a stage actor on Broadway. They're going to mess up at times, but they pick up, they move on, they continue, right? Nobody really bats an eye at it. And I don't think at the end of the night, the fans care that much. They got entertained, and I don't think that anybody's gotten the heat from the office. And I think everybody did their job accordingly by watching that. And if I saw that and I was part of the office, I just we'd have talked about it probably, because that's what your job would be, and figure out what was going on. But overall, the ref did his job accordingly, right, in my opinion. And the girls, it looked like she took a nasty splat from that. So I think it's fine. I mean, no big deal. Nothing to really get upset over, I wouldn't think.
So before we change the subject and go to another topic,
yeah,
what if the youngest WCW referee, Mr. 2020, future Hall of Famer, Mr. 2020, what would he done in that situation if he knew the finish?
Yeah.
And stuff, and it was that close.
Yeah.
What would you do in that moment?
Well, here's the thing. You have to
I want your honest opinion, though.
Oh, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. Now, here's the thing, though. You got to be in the moment to make the moment happen. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd have went his route and hit the 3, because I could, and I might think that, right? Or would I think, this is on TV, the title's not changing hands? No, you're in the moment, and I tell you, bro, when you're in the moment like that, you just go with the moment. And I think either scenario could have worked in that finish. Either scenario could work, by what I saw, because her arm did come up when he hit 3. The arm did, the shoulder didn't, but you could still play it off and go, blah blah blah, right? Like referees do. So I think you could go either way, but I'd have to be in the moment to pick which way I'd go. And that's an honest opinion, because I could say all day long, well, I'd have done this or I'd have done what he did, but I really don't know until I'm in there. And the heat of the moment, man, that's what we all do. Heat of the moment.
That's a very corporate answer on that one.
That's a true answer.
But
I'd have to be in the ring at the moment, bro, to see what I need.
That's all good. We know that you would have counted 2, said there was a kick out, but you don't want to say it on the podcast.
I don't know.
We know it.
I could. I could.
We know what you would do.
Maybe. I just think that, either way he'd have went, either way would have been a little awkward, right? I think.
Yeah.
The way it happened, it was awkward, and if he'd done it the other way, it'd still been a little awkward, and maybe not, because by the reaction of the way the crowd did not react at all, and you see him in the background, nobody moves. They don't even flinch. It's like they don't even know what happened, right? So who knows? Maybe if he'd played off the count, reaction big, maybe they would not have. Maybe you got a reaction from the crowd. Maybe it wouldn't have been so much. And the announcers could have played it off on TV. They can play off anything. That's what they're there for, right? But it's hard to say. Heat of the moment, man. I'm being honest about that. Heat of the moment, to know what you're going to do at the right particular time. And that's the God's honest truth. Because you always play off your gut feeling when you're in the ring. You try to treat it like a shoot. And sometimes when you treat it like a shoot and you know it's a work, it kind of intertwines and you do something, and whatever happens. Ad-libbing, man. I don't know. It's just one of them things. But but like I said, I think overall, either one would have worked, and obviously that one worked, and it's fine.
Very corporate answer.
That's not a corporate answer.
Yeah. Are you getting paid underneath the table to say this stuff?
If I was, I'd let you know, because I'd be happy right now. I have no contracted wrestling income coming in. Trust me. So, but yeah, I'm glad we looked that up, because I didn't watch it yet, and I finally got to see it. That's good you brought it up. Any other NXT news?
Yeah. What do you think about? So, we talked about many episodes ago about the whole TNA NXT WWE partnership.
Yep.
And how NXT is pretty much taking the TNA titles and stuff like that, but not really NXT or TNA taking NXT titles.
Yep.
What do you think about Moose challenging Ethan Page for the NXT North American Championship? Or you didn't see that neither, did you?
I didn't, but what's my opinion? Because Moose is a TNA talent.
Yeah. So he
So
comes
when does their
out.
agreement end? Didn't they have an agreement that's going to end?
Well, that's a rumor because TNA is going to AMC. So it's a rumor that they're going to end the partnership and stuff, but nobody on that side is really confirming or denying that rumor.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, fans just said it. But Ethan Page was up in the ring celebrating or talking and stuff. The TNA International Champion,
Yeah.
which is a NXT star, Stacks, I think. He came out Then all of a sudden you just hear Moose theme come on. He comes in and you're thinking he's going to go for take back the TNA International Championship, and he gets up in the guy's face. Then he goes, "Is your lucky day?" Because he's laser focused on Ethan Page to set up their match.
Yeah.
So he's not going back. So that makes me think like the partnership is still going to happen for a while.
Yeah.
And everything, because he's not going after and bringing back the TNA title. He's going for a NXT title.
Right.
So, do you think he's actually going to win the championship? Because it's a lot of times where TNA will go for NXT championship,
Yeah.
tag, world, whatever, and they don't win.
Right.
Do you think Moose can actually win where it looks like they're actually having a good working relationship?
I mean, I think anything's possible, and I think they can do anything they want. Would I give Moose the title? If we had a continued relationship, yeah, why not? Why not? Why not let Moose win the title? I know a lot of people. Now, let me tell you something about Moose. When I was back in Florida, still roaming the roads years ago, with WWN involved, FIP. Moose got involved with that as well. Evolve and all them shows, FIP. Well, a lot of times, Michael Tarver, remember Michael Tarver of Nexus fame? Well, Tarver would ride with me. Well, I remember a couple times Moose needed to ride to or from Orlando back to Tampa because most of us lived in Tampa or Orlando, one of the two. And, or somewhere in between. But anyway, so Moose was a nice guy. And, and we'll go back to your scenario here in a minute. But recently I had a couple people on the indies tell me that he was the biggest jackass that they ever met, right? And I'm like, unless he's changed, the guy I knew was one of the coolest guys ever. And then Michael Tarver, I can't say nothing but all good about Tarver. He's one of the stand-up dudes you ever meet too. And I got to get in contact with him too. I think he's still here in Tampa. But anyway, I'm just going to say I would give the title to Moose. If you had a working relationship, if going forward past a certain date, if that working relationship ends in January sometime, probably not. It depends on how my relationship is with the company. What are we doing here to make this make sense? But I wouldn't do it this late in the juncture if they're not going to have a working relationship when the TV show on AMC starts. Does that make sense? I wouldn't do it. But if you had an ongoing relationship and you could have him on their show and have their talent on my show and AMC to get more publicity, yes, absolutely. The more publicity you get, the more eyes you get, it's good. And that's benefiting them, So, yeah, it depends on the scenario there, which way we're going with that.
Honestly, I think he should. I mean, like I said, TNA hasn't really got anything out of this whole partnership thing.
Yeah.
They haven't won the world title. They haven't won the tag titles, I don't think. They haven't won, I don't think they won the women's title.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff. But NXT has won all that stuff.
From them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes sense for TNA to finally win. They just won the tag team steel cage match.
Okay.
TNA did. So they got a little bit of momentum and stuff, and like the storyline and stuff, it needs to happen soon and everything.
Yeah.
And this will be a good way. If you don't want to put your world title, the NXT championship, on a TNA star, that's fine. Let's do the mid card titles or the tag titles or something.
Yeah. Right.
So I think they need to. I think the match is supposed to be December 30th. So
What does that fall on? Thursday? No. What's that? What day is their show on?
That should be
A Tuesday.
a Tuesday.
Okay. Is it in Orlando? Is it on NXT?
Yeah.
It's probably Orlando. Okay. But yeah, I mean, if their working relationship continues past January, whatever their first show is on AMC, I would say do it. Have Moose appear on both shows as the champion and get that publicity going with their new show on AMC. That way TNA gets a little umph from the NXT and WWE brand instead of feeling like it's all one way, one-sided. Because if you look at it, some people might think that. But then again, when you get the eyes on your product, I think it helped TNA grow again. I really think their partnership, by getting their eyes on their product, helped them get bigger again. As in past years, it seemed like they had gotten not as much, right? They got smaller from years ago. So, yeah, I think it's good. If the working relationship's there, I think any title back and forth, any of the titles would be great if they do it right and fair and everybody's talent is elevated. You want to elevate your talent. And then do it. But if for some reason it's the truth behind that rumor that since they got a TV deal at AMC that their relationship's over, you should just nip it in the bud right now and don't have any titles. Just let it be the way it is. But then again, that's Moose winning the North American title in NXT. So you're back to what you're saying could be right as well. Even if the relationship ends, hell, Moose wins it and the next week loses it, he still is NXT North American champion. So yeah, that could still be a win-win as well. So more eyes on your talent.
Yeah, I think he should.
Okay.
How long it's been the partnership? The partnership's been what? A little over a year now.
It seems an eternity, but I don't know.
So I mean, it's just time for them to win one of the championships.
Yeah, that's a good point you have. But it all has to do with that relationship, I believe, because if NXT and them's cutting it, I don't see them dropping it. But then again, I could be wrong because we can talk about this too, Mike. And this is probably going off into another subject real quick, and it's probably may stay there for a minute. But we talk about the way Cena's match went down, right? I was totally wrong about that, dude. I thought he was going out with his last match win on top, champion, just like Sting did at AEW. Remember that? Tag team champion or whatever. I was totally wrong. He taps out. He smiles. He gets all this criticism on this match. Everybody's wondering who did it, whose idea this was. At the end of the day, it's subjective. Like I said earlier, it's pro wrestling. You're either going to like what they're feeding you or you're going to hate what they're feeding you. And apparently a lot of people, not just people in the industry, have spoken out, but a lot of people, fan-wise, have spoken out and thought it was the biggest load of crap they've ever seen, right? But that's what I'm saying with the TNA thing. It's all subjective. But the problem with that, and I'll be honest about this, we look at the Cena match, and Jarrett is totally, I don't know if you saw his comments on it, he totally thinks it's one of the worst things he's ever saw. Bad for the business, right? Who else downgraded it? It's in there. Russo downgraded it. Now, a lot of people, some people said, well, what does Russo know, right? Well, I'm going to tell you one thing that somebody said online, and it made totally good sense to me, my man. Bob Holly, in Russo's defense, says Russo has a degree in writing and in the Attitude Era took the business to the high level, right? This ain't the exact words, but this is what he meant. Took it to the highest level during the Attitude Era. And then Russo gets his point on it, right? People down Russo. Well, you're talking about a guy that really knows what he's talking about. He did help out that era. He did boost a lot of careers. Versus right now, it seems like a lot of careers aren't going nowhere. So whoever made that decision, and I'll be honest, I don't think Cena came up with the whole decision. I believe, and I could be wrong. I'm wrong about quite a few things because I don't know the backstories to a lot of it. But, I honestly believe that Cena, as a company man, and they'd ask him to do whatever, as long as it didn't kill him, I think he'd do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. They've paid his bills for how many years? 20 some years. I know it's over 20 years. So good for him. Do I think Triple H came up with it? Maybe. Now, my take is it was a tap finish. Maybe Cena added the smile and the tap his own way, right? Maybe it was a tap finish, and he just like, oh, yeah? Who knows? But I don't know, dude. We can talk about that scenario all day. Who's right, who's wrong? Who knows more, who doesn't know anything? I don't know. I really don't care. I just know that I hate to say that. I really don't care. And I'm not being an asshole when I say this either. I didn't care it was his last match last Saturday. It is what it is. Everybody has their last match. Some guys go out on top, some guys don't. But I will say this in WWE's defense, real quick, my man. Every guy that was considered a legend that went out lost at WWE. Flair lost his retirement match. Shawn Michaels. Give me some more names here. I'm having a brain fart, but there's a few others.
Triple H.
Triple H. Who else lost?
Batista.
Batista. There we go. So, in their defense.
Stone Cold? What about Stone Cold?
Did he?
Did he have a retirement match?
I don't know.
But he just had a match a couple years ago at WrestleMania, and he won that.
That's a little different. That was a special appearance.
But it still counts.
Just because Stone Cold and the Good Brothers are your idols, bro. You go to defend them, right?
Yep.
But like I'm saying, in their defense, that's what a lot of the guys. They even had Flair do it that way. So in their defense,
Michaels.
And didn't Hogan lose to The Rock?
Was that his last match? And that wasn't his last match.
Who won that match at Mania?
The Rock did, but that wasn't his last match, was it?
No, but I'm just saying, you got legends.
That Rock won that one.
Okay, but I don't even know what Hogan's last match was. There at WWE, we may need to look that up. But here's the thing with guys. Just use Flair for example. Ric Flair, the holy grail of professional wrestling, right? And he goes out like that for Shawn Michaels. So I see nothing wrong with Cena going out in his last match. Others say you should have gave him the match. So I look at both sides. I see both sides of the coin. Some people over here disagree with it. I agree with a little. Some people over here that say it's the right thing to do, I agree with. So anything they do at the end of the day, they're going to do what they want to do, regardless if it's right or wrong. And regardless if it pisses off the fan. They don't care.
So apparently Hulk Hogan's last WWE match was a victory against Randy Orton at SummerSlam 2006. So he won his last match.
Hogan went out on top.
Yep. So in that logic, Cena should have won.
Yeah, there you go. So there we go.
I think he would have. A lot of people was bashing that that ending of the match.
Well, the ending sucked. I'll say.
I think if he's going to lose, and he's going to be losing like that, he should have never capped out. I think it should have been like Austin lost to Brett, like gave it all he had, and his body just gave out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a WrestleMania moment. If Cena would have done that, it would have been like he actually gave his everything for his last match
Yeah.
for the fans. And he didn't give up, and Gunther would have won and still looked strong.
Yeah.
But it looked like he gave everything he had to win that last match or lose that last match. He
Right.
gave everything for the fans and WWE.
Right.
I think it would have been better for everybody.
Yeah. You're right. That does make a better scenario. And that's, look, Mike, you just booked a better finish than the actual company did.
Well,
So
I learned everything I know from Russo.
There you go. Vinny Rue's right again. The powers that be. Yep.
Maybe I'm going to JCW.
Maybe. Hey, you need a referee?
I might have to talk to Vito and Russo and see if I can get my foot in the door.
There you go.
Can you see me and Russo on the rating team together?
I think y'all get along.
I guarantee you we'll be the number one company within 5 years.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Well, hey, you said it first here on this podcast.
Yep.
So
Me and Russo. The best writing duo and future Hall of Famer of writing.
That's right. That's right. Both in the Hall of Fame. So another thing that we need to talk about, remind people once again, go to cowboyrevolution.com, use the code JamieT123 at checkout for 15% off your order, and do it as soon as you get done listening to this podcast. And proceeds go to help the veterans. Me and Mike are big on that. And we're also big on their merch. I love their merch. So go buy some and use that code, and they know you heard it here first on the podcast. And they'll let me know, and we're happy. So another thing you guys can do, haven't had any questions in a couple weeks. Think my filter's broke because I thought I'd have been cursed out another time or Anonymous would have came in, said that we're crazy for putting Chris Benoit in our Hall of Fame if we had one, or the WWE Hall of Fame. But anyway, send your questions and comments to WrestleRef123 at gmail.com. Even if you don't like us, send your comments in. If you have a question, send it in. We want to answer your questions. Doesn't matter what it is. But once again, Chris Benoit, the Hall of Fame.
I just think if you're going to leave a comment or question, don't be anonymous.
You should put, that's right, you should put your name on it. I don't like anonymous people.
we can give y'all a shout out.
That's right.
Just like last week, I gave a shout out to Excess Healthcare Multi-Specialty Group in
You
Florence,
did.
Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a big group of people that's like a big family, and they take care of the people.
Nice. So let me tell you, Mike. So next month, January the 9th, a Friday night, in Winter Haven, Florida, at Tanner's Lakeside, I will be refereeing for Florida Pro Wrestling on January the 9th, 2026, Winter Haven, Florida. Friday night, action starts at 8 o'clock. Come on out, guys. It's a great venue, and they do serve for the alcoholic beverage people out there. They do serve some cold beer and stuff. Come out and have a cold beer, watch some great pro wrestling. Get you some food there. Heard the food's good. And enjoy a night of pro wrestling. And great stars will be there. We'll give you more updates as the weeks to come on what the matches will be. But just remember, January 9th, 2026, I will be performing once again in the state of Florida in Winter Haven. So be ready for that.
So them having beer and stuff, do you think they're going to have any real American beer?
It's Florida. It's everywhere down here. So maybe.
Okay.
If they do, hopefully they have the gold can. I
Yeah.
cannot find that can.
Well, the golden one needs a golden can.
You do. Do you want beer in it?
Do I want beer in it?
Yeah.
What kind of question is that?
Well, just asking.
Now, Mr. Anonymous, do not send that as a question.
Yeah,
I want beer in the beer can.
that's right.
So,
Of course you do. It's a beer.
I'm
So-
buying the beer can for the water inside of it.
That's right. Well, it is made with water, and you got to stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah, yeah. So
Just like
makes perfect sense.
Just like my Kroger water.
Now you're putting over Kroger. Okay.
For me, it's a competition. But man, that Kroger water is good.
Do you think it'll be a cease and desist about showing their products on the podcast?
Well, if it is, take the label off.
You're ready.
Uh,
That's good. What have we not touched base on, man? I'm trying to figure out. We talked about NXT, the finish there, that girls' match, and the referee. We talked about Cena's match a little bit. You gave a really good finish to it. That I didn't think about it, but that I like that finish a lot better than the one we saw. We talked about JCW a little bit, and we talked about Wrestle Expo last week. But do you have anything else for us today as it pertains to the world of professional wrestling? What about Mick Foley and his Legends deal? What do you think about that? Your candid opinion, or if you don't have to, but I'm just saying. Do you think it's right for Mick Foley to say, when my Legends deal's up, I'm not having anything else to do with you guys? But he's basically saying, right now you're still paying me my Legends deal, but I'm not going to do anything for you. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
That's what it sounds like to me too.
Yeah. Okay.
But
now, what's your opinion on that? If he's
so when is his Legend deal over with? Do you know?
I think it's sometime next year. I'm not sure. So let's see.
Well, either way, he's doing it because Trump is in office, right?
That and he doesn't care for and then Trump's like talking about, I guess he's still kind of affiliated with WWE in a way. And Foley doesn't like being affiliated with a company that is affiliated with Donald Trump. Does that make sense?
Well, I hate to say it, but he's always going to be part of the WWE because it was Trump Raw one time. Trump and Vince McMahon was at WrestleMania, and Donald Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer, just like Chris Benoit should be right now. But that's beside the point. Trump is a Hall of Famer, so he should, no matter what, he's always going to be part of the company. So if you don't want to be part of it because he's associated with it, then go on somewhere.
Okay. Well, here's what he said, Mike. Okay. It said he said that WWE's connections with former United States President Donald Trump. He's not former. I don't know why that says that in this article. Whoever wrote this don't know how to write. He's actually our current president. Particularly regarding the administration's treatment of immigrants and Trump's incredibly cruel comments about Rob Reiner following Reiner's murder as the reasons for his decision. Now, here's the question. What did Trump say about Rob Reiner? I don't know. Do you?
No.
Okay. So I really can't comment on that. At this point, I can't comment because I don't know what he said.
The only thing I'm going to say is,
but the immigrant part, that's open for discussion, but we probably shouldn't.
No, well, we could talk about it.
No.
We knew what Trump is.
Yeah.
When we voted for him to become the 47th president of the United States, because he was the 45th president. So we already knew what he was going to do and say.
Right.
Like the 4 years with Biden or whatever, I mean, that was terrible times in the United States, in my opinion. But we knew what we was going to get with Trump. We knew how he felt about the immigrants. We knew like he was going to build a wall, keep the immigrants out and stuff. And you already did this thing before when he was the 45th president.
Okay. But we
Like
don't have
he said,
do we
and he said he wasn't going to be part of the. He's going to cancel his legend deal back then when he was the 45th president.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
doing
Okay.
it again, it's just like, who really cares? Like you knew what he was going to be,
Yeah.
but now you're waiting like a year and a half, 2 years, how long he's been president this time, to do it again.
Yeah.
I
Do
mean,
you think so? Before I got a question in a minute, but I'm going to say something. I don't think we got that wall yet. Do we?
hey, we're working on it.
Oh, we're working on it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but no. All kidding aside, back to Foley, right? Do you think Foley's doing this for publicity, mainly more, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if you think about it, he's not out there as much as he used to
Yeah.
and everything. And you see how much people talking about Brett doing all the stuff about Goldberg and everything.
Yeah.
And his name is getting out there more. Maybe Foley's doing it to get his name out there a little bit more.
Okay. Could be. Could be.
Which Goldberg didn't do nothing wrong. It was just a mishap with the kick and everything. He did not really ruin Brett's career. Brett should have done what he was supposed to.
Why are
Stay
we
in
still talking about
WWE.
Goldberg? Where
You
are we
went off
going?
topic. You went off topic earlier. We're going, but Brett should have stayed in WWE at the time, and he would never got kicked in the head by Goldberg and
That's
ruined
true.
his career. So
Look,
Brett's the reason that Brett wasn't a wrestler anymore, not Goldberg. Goldberg did nothing wrong.
okay. Well, here's the thing. I do think, I do think that, at times Hart does complain a little too much. I'll openly admit that. It's like, dude, you've had all these opportunities. You made so much money off this business. And I know even I don't know the whole backstory to that. I've always heard the same story as you've probably heard, Mike. He kicks him in the head. He has this concussion. He never can work again. End my career, blah, 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 which it could be 100% true. I don't know the backstory to it. And I've always been a Bret Hart fan as it comes to his performances. And I really don't know him personally. I've only spoke to him twice in my whole life, very briefly. Really nice guy. But other than that, it's not like my other friends in the business, like a Big Vito or Brian Knobbs, guys like that, I have more of a friendship with. Now, with that being said, I do think it's bad if that's how he ended his career, it went out that way. Do I think Goldberg deliberately did it? Probably not. Most guys in this business don't go out there to deliberately hurt anybody. We're supposed to protect each other, so probably not. And then thirdly, I do believe that he has been a little outspoken and a little outlandish with some of the comments he makes, that being Brett. And he should probably just let that calm down a little bit. But I have nothing bad to really say about him. And like I said before, I'm a really big fan of his body of work he gave the industry. But when it comes to the comments as he's gotten older, in my personal professional opinion, and half people may not even care, I think he should let a lot of it die down and live his life and be happy with everything he's accomplished and not let all that bother you. Because at the end of the day, man, things that happen to us, if we hold on to it, regardless of how big or small they are, it just makes us all bitter. And I think he's got a little bitter from it, right? And I've been bitter before for other reasons, but you got to let things go.
So Goldberg's kick might have been the last concussion. But how many concussions did he have in
Before?
WWF Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that one could have ended it,
Yeah.
but he could have had so many that the last one could have been the final straw.
Correct. Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. I
But
get it.
when Goldberg comes back and goes to Saudi Arabia to go over there, and then you're making comments where he says that Goldberg didn't even call to apologize or offer me money, like a couple million for going over there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Brett, you didn't do nothing. Goldberg's the one that went over there and had the match,
Right.
not you. So, I mean, and then talk about Sheamus's punch and stuff. What I think as a writer now, we get Goldberg and Sheamus teaming together against Bret Hart.
And who?
That's it. He keeps talking so much crap about Goldberg and Sheamus.
Okay.
Let us have a handicap match. Goldberg kicks him one time, and Sheamus just punches him.
Well, back to the punching thing though, man. I have to watch. I have to watch his punches a little more, Sheamus as that is, because I really don't know. But when I think of a good punch guy, man, guys, if you go watch and they set it apart from the others, right? Jerry Lawler, number one, best punch in the industry. If not one of the best, he is the best because I'll put it up there with anybody. Another guy is Bill Dundee, superstar Bill Dundee. Another guy's from here in Florida, Bob Cook. Great punch, man. There's a lot of others, but these three come to mind first, right?
So my favorite person is Jeff Jarrett. He's got a really good punch.
Well, the punch. Well, he came out of that area with Lawler and Jackie Fargo and all them legends from Memphis. So
yeah.
But if you have the end of the punches, even who you just mentioned, Jarrett as well, you've got a guy that knows how to work. If you have a good working punch, it takes you a lot of places that. And here's the thing, a lot of guys, if you can't throw a punch, you know what they should throw? A forearm. Now, if you can't throw a forearm, you may be SOL. If you're bad at forearms and you're bad at punches, you might want to reevaluate how to learn one of them at least really good. But a lot of the old timers have said that. They're like, "Man, your punches suck. Why don't you just do a forearm?" The kids couldn't do a forearm. They'd be like, "You need to learn how to do," because the punches back in the day, a lot of the guys could put on a full match with just punches, right? Don't even have to take a bump hardly. But nowadays, a lot of guys don't use a lot of punches, but it's very important.
Sheamus has a good punch where if he does open up his hand to slap and then close it when he pulls back, Brett's the first one that said anything. So it must be a really good punch if no one else can see it.
I mean, I'm going to go watch it, and we'll talk about it again one other day. We'll watch some of his matches again. I mean, I used to work with him personally down here in Florida, but I mean, I wasn't paying attention to his punches then that much. But we need to go back and look at it. Absolutely.
Right. We need to go back and look at that, but we need to go back to the thing. What do you think about Foley? We got way off subject.
And how did we get off subject? I don't remember.
Somehow I talked about Goldberg and Brett, and then we talked about
you started talking about Goldberg. That's right. Okay.
Well, either way.
Foley. I think that Foley his political views are so heavy that he's letting that overtake his professionalism and his professional career. He's letting it overtake it at this point. Because I'll be honest with you. You got a legends deal with WWE. You was a WWF/WWE superstar. You had this great career with this company. You made millions of dollars, I'm pretty sure. And they're still paying you. I think my political views at this point, I don't care what my political views are. I would keep my legends deal, keep my my legend status alive, because not every viewer agrees with Foley, and some are, right? You got different kinds of people that believe different things. So he's only hurting himself and his legacy at this point when you just could be quiet and be a happy man. You've had a really good career that a lot of people have never seen. And just because your political views, he's honestly he's either a big liberal or Democrat. One, because he's certainly not a Republican, or he wouldn't believe that way. But nonetheless, I just think the political views, when you're in a profession or you're in the public eye, even an actor or any other type of sports person, even actors have overstepped their boundaries. In Hollywood, they talk about this and talk about that and crap on this. Nobody cares about your political views. I want to see you act. First off, I want to see you put on a good movie or sitcom. And the day you stop doing that, I'm done with you. But my point is, he should let an old dog lie, or whatever that old saying is. I can't even think what it is. Let it go. He shouldn't have said anything this time. He should have just had his Legends deal and kept collecting that money. That's all I got to say.
They have said that he's lost a lot of money doing this not because the whole Legends deal, is because when you start talking about like politics and stuff like
politics hurt you. Yeah.
Trump is very a person where you love him, like you really love him, or you really hate him. It ain't no in between with him. It's like you love him or you hate him. With his views, now people, depends on where Foley goes, they're canceling their tickets, they're canceling their stuff to go see him, to get autographs and stuff like that. So he's losing out on a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to say whatever about Trump, that means you voted for Biden probably last time. So
I would guess.
See how bad he screwed up the country.
Yeah.
And if you like Biden, go to WrestleRef@gmail.com and leave a comment about it. But I think Biden was, thank you. But I think Biden screwed up the country, but that's a whole different subject.
It is a different, by far.
So, but that means Foley probably voted for him. So that goes from like a lot of people that likes Trump.
Yeah.
Now don't like Foley, which is hard to say. But then, so it's stuff like that. Like politics needs to stay personal. Or on a podcast.
Well, here's the thing, man. When you're that big in the limelight and you start telling everybody your personal affiliation with something or your personal opinion on this, and hey, I believe this and I believe that, you're either going to have people that agree with you, a lot of people, or a lot of people that disagree with you. Yeah. And you hope it's better be the part that there's more that agree with you, because at the end of the day, it's going to hurt you. And once again, he has his opinion, and I'm cool with that. I'm cool with whatever Mick Foley believes in. I don't judge Mick Foley by his view. I judge the way he went into this, and I think it professionally was a bad move. And that's all I'll say. But I think, I've worked with him, talked with him outside the ring. He was always a nice, sweet gentleman. One of the nicest guys. So was Terry Funk. God rest his soul. But, there's guys like that you think, by looking at them and seeing some of the stuff they do in the ring, oh, man, I bet they're the biggest jerks, right? They're not. But, I just think he should have let it lay low, let it rest. That's my opinion. But and maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe we should all be more opinionated in the limelight. But I guarantee you, man, that my current job, and it's not my current shoot job to the insiders that know the terms, is not in pro wrestling. Okay, I'm not affiliated with any wrestling company. I freelance pro wrestling indie shows, do conventions, make an extra buck. So I'm not you know, when I go to these conventions, I'm not endorsing any big promotion because I'm not with one. But I will say this. If I'd say some of the stuff that some of these actors and now wrestlers and sports personalities say, I guarantee you my job I currently work at, which is not in pro wrestling full time, would probably fire me. You're just lucky that you get the opportunity to speak your words and have the opportunity to still get paid at a high level. So I think I'd be a little more quiet with my views. But then again, power to you. If the WWE is going to pay you for the next year and a half or whatever he's got left, and they're giving you the money to sit at home, take it. I don't blame you. But anyway, I just think if you're in the limelight, you should keep your views to yourself a little more than, you know, Mike, than going out here, because that could, by you saying that could make someone else. I mean, it's kind of like, how do I say this? It's kind of like when these actors and sports personalities do this type of thing. It's kind of like they're trying to have you think their way, is what I'm trying to get at in a nutshell. So, and that's not cool. Let them have their own opinion. Don't try to swerve them to think your way. And that's what a lot of them want to do, especially the actors in Hollywood, man. You see some of the stupid stuff they've said. They're trying to get people to think their way. And if you don't believe their way, you should have that God-given right not to. But we shouldn't have to hear it either. Am I right? So.
Yeah, like I really didn't want to hear people when they said they voted for Biden.
Oh my God, Mike.
But yeah. If y'all didn't know, out of the last 10 minutes of this conversation, I voted for Trump.
I think they may have gathered this.
I don't think they noticed.
I don't. No, I couldn't tell.
But no, like no matter what, it's not gonna be like he should really keep his mouth shut sometimes. Just like I think that's how we got on the subject about Brett. Brett should have kept his mouth shut about Goldberg. And stuff.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm a big Bret Hart fan. I'll say that all day. But he should have kept his mouth shut.
I never really was a Bret Hart fan. The only time I liked him was when Stone Cold was whooping him up in the ring and everything. So
okay.
I think the WrestleMania match, I think Stone Cold should have went over. But I liked how it turned Bret more heel and Stone Cold babyface. And then that gave us like the Stone Cold character that we did get. So the finish was okay in that part. But either way, this whole entire thing, we just know two things. Trump is a WWE Hall of Famer, and Chris Benoit should be a WWE Hall of Famer. And Vince Russo.
There you go. Vinny Roo, that's right. Not Vince McMahon, but Vince Russo.
Well, Vince McMahon can go in there too.
Well, you know.
I mean, the stories are just out there.
Vinny, I'm going to say it. I don't care. This is kind of funny now at this point. Vinny Roo didn't go poop on nobody. So,
I mean, it's just stories. Is it really confirmed that he did that?
I don't know.
Pictures.
Apparently,
apparently
laryngitis was involved. I'm sorry, I call him laryngitis. Apparently, laryngitis was involved.
I mean, it's always two sides of every story.
Yeah, but I'll just say this: when I heard that laryngitis was involved, I kind of thought that it was 100% legit because he's a piece of crap himself. So there you heard it first and
he
foremost.
could have been the one that did it, not Vince McMahon, and they just got confused.
Well, whatever.
Let's just say Vince needs to come back and save the WWE with Triple H booking.
All I can say is JL Laryngitis himself can eat a big bowl of you know what. So.
Well, I mean, this episode is started off good. Now we're talking about Trump and Vince and Chris Benoit and Russo and Brett, being Brett.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know where we're going with this now.
Me neither. But we all know who I'm talking about.
Well, we do know one thing.
What's that?
Christmas is coming up Thursday.
That's right.
Less than a week. What are you doing anything special for Christmas? Like, are y'all going anywhere? You got any traditions that y'all do? Like, what does
Well,
the Mr. 2020 household look like for Christmas?
we have no, we have no immediate family here in Florida. We have great friends, just like you back in Virginia was a really good friend. So we're going to be going to a friend's house for Christmas Day to eat. So we're not going out this time like we did Thanksgiving. So we're going there to eat, hang out for a few hours, probably have a few drinks, adult drinks, and enjoy the Christmas holiday that way. So nothing real big. I'm off from the shoot. I like saying that. The shoot job. I love saying it. Especially when I was in the pro wrestling business full time. I'd be like, yeah, I don't have to work a shoot job. But anyway, I got off track. But anyway, but yeah, nothing real big, my man. I'm off Christmas Eve and Christmas. So I'm going to enjoy that. From the job. I'm off tomorrow. So me and the wife are spending the, just me and her tomorrow on Saturday. I hope it's beautiful here. Who knows? Maybe some trees, some palm trees in the forecast. If it's beautiful, maybe go out to the beach tomorrow, catch some warm weather out there at the beach. But yeah, nothing big. And sometimes I don't need to do a whole lot. I like just being chill, being with your loved one or loved ones. And, I love spending time with my wife, and thank God Jules still loves spending time with me. And, just have a quiet Christmas.
So, one question.
Yeah.
The adult drink.
Yeah.
Is it eggnog?
No, it's actually going to be, it could be a wine. It could be a beer. Just something I like to drink. Yeah. Something to take the edge off, enjoy the holiday with friends and family or whatever. Just have a good day, man. Eat some good food and go back on my eating clean on 26th. So
Then going back to your shoot job.
Yeah, 26th.
So you said you're off. You said you're off Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah.
So let me tell you, anybody that knows me, I work at. I don't like saying the name when I'm not there, but they got a spark in their logo.
Yeah.
So, so last year I just called in on Christmas Eve. Had the time, had the points, had everything. Something unexpected came up. That's what I told them because that's what the thing says to use your time. If something unexpected comes up, use your time.
Yeah.
Man, I am still hearing crap about that a year later.
Yeah. Makes sense. That's what they do.
Why? It's a year later.
I guess they're making sure that this year you're at work on Christmas Eve.
Well, I'm going to be there. But.
There's a but.
It is always a but. It's not right. Say like Thanksgiving. The day before Thanksgiving this year, a new guy started. Not even a month into his working career at this Spark place. And they let him leave 2 hours into a shift. Why? It's the same. It's the same thing of me calling in. He didn't do nothing for those 2 hours. I'm just saying. Why do I gotta get? They. I'm telling you, they bring it up every single day almost.
You should go to the office.
Well, maybe one of these days I will.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know. I can't talk about that at this moment of time.
You can't.
I can't.
No.
But I will say we did talk about Trump today. So we could talk about Trump on here that I thought we never would. I might talk about everything one day on the podcast.
Well, the only reason we brought up Trump, though, dude, is because of Mick Foley being the WWE. This is the wrestling podcast. What better reason? It's a story, right? So that's why it came about.
So I think the next time we should break down the time that Trump was in the WWE.
Okay.
The whole time, like when he bought the company from Vince to all the way up to his Hall of Fame. And
Okay.
like that period of time, and let's see if the WWE was better then, like everybody was saying now, or the WWE is actually better now and people just taking bad moments and saying that it sucks now.
Right.
So we can do like a comparison at time.
We also can get questions and comments sent to WrestleRef123@gmail.com. Don't forget that, folks. So we can do an all question show if you pile them in here. And if you guys suggest, if we get many of these, we may even do a live question and answer as we go. So let us know what you want to talk about.
A live question and answer might not be a good thing with us.
I think it'll be fun though.
It
Also,
will be fun.
another thing we need to remind you about before we head out here in a moment is go to cowboyrevolution.com and at checkout use code JamieT123 for the 15% off. Do that today. Get the 15% off. It is only the 19th, so I believe they do the shipping still through the next couple of days, so you still can get some Christmas gifts and save that 15% off at cowboyrevolution.com. Use the code JamieT123. That is a big savings of 15% off. And they'll also know that you're listening to the podcast because that's the only place that we promote it. So that's a good thing for us. We'll know. So, Mike, I think we had a lot of topics. The NXT match was a good topic. I actually put up the video. There's more stuff coming out online about that now, but I think it's all rumored from what I understand. Sources are saying now, Mike, this is a headline, just came out, I just read. Sources are saying that the young lady, is it Blake Monroe?
Yeah.
She was fined 2 weeks' pay for not kicking out. I don't believe it one bit. I believe this is a made-up story, personally. Who knows? Is Meltzer behind it? Maybe.
He's a bigger joke than our former president. But that's beside the point. Has anybody ever got fined for that though?
Don't think so. No.
Like so.
Not that I know of.
So I mean, it sounds made up. Right.
It does. Be interesting to see. Maybe we'll have more information coming out in the next week or so, and we'll be able to talk about it here.
Well, like you said, it wasn't her fault. Like she did get the wind knocked out of her.
It wasn't her fault. It wasn't. I just think it was a mishap on the move. No one did anything wrong on their end, and then the referee did his job. Nothing was wrong. I don't know.
You know who you should find in that?
Who?
Booker T. He should have never opened up his big mouth and tried to throw the ref underneath the bus.
True. I guess.
Yeah. If he would have kept his mouth shut, then it would have been fine.
You hear that?
I already said it on the podcast before. He was never one of my favorite wrestlers neither. And on commentary, it's even worse.
Wow. Well, I do like Booker T. I like his work, and I think he was a good candidate and deserved the WCW title run when he got it in Russo era. So,
I will say the part of Booker T that I did like was when he was in TNA with the Main Event Mafia.
Okay.
I did like him in that.
Right.
But other than that, I didn't care too much for him.
Gotcha.
But I also said on record I wasn't a big Ric Flair fan, and he wasn't even in my top 10.
Yeah, can't believe that one bit. Ric Flair is he's NWA, he's Jim Crockett, he's WCW Turner, he's all that. So whatever.
He just didn't make it.
Okay.
He probably would have made it in the top 100,
Okay.
but I doubt it.
Well,
Just
one
kidding.
thing.
He probably would have been honestly in the top 20 for real, but like top 15. But he just wasn't in the top 10 for me.
Yeah.
But Russo was.
Vinny Rue. He's a bit hot topic right now. Good stuff though. They're actually in Milwaukee tonight. I think they're filming some Lunacy tonight. And then Sunday they're going to be in Detroit. I think it's Sunday. Yeah, Sunday the 21st. They're doing that, and some Kerry Morton Invitational cage match or something going on.
I
It's going to be
saw
interesting
that.
to see. Yeah, but it's I'm looking forward. There's some new TV they'll have out probably next Thursday. Well, that's Christmas. I don't know. Maybe they'll preempt it. Who knows? I hope they don't preempt it. I don't think they will. But
I know. I don't know how true it is, but like WWE, it's like Raw and SmackDown. I heard that it's not going to be like the fans. It's not going to be as good because they already recorded them
yeah,
for Christmas and stuff, which is fine. Like people need to be home with their families for Christmas and stuff like that.
yeah.
Totally understand it. But they said the fans in those crowds was there for so long that after a while they just didn't care. Like they sat through Raw, they sat through all this TV. Raw's 3 hours, so you got to think you got to stay focused for 3 hours. But now you got a whole different show that's maybe another 2 hours.
Well, they know that don't work because
Yeah, so I don't blame the crowd for not being into it for all that time because it's hard for them to do it for WrestleMania, and
well,
that's 2 nights.
WCW did that back in the day when they put Nitro and then taped Thunder right after, and the crowds would be either dead or some would start leaving, and because nobody wants to sit that long. It's just
Yeah.
after a while, people get tired of sitting there. It doesn't matter how much they like your product. It just gets tiresome. A lot of people bring their kids. The kids get tired. The kids start whining. They take the kids out of there. A lot of things play. If it's on a Monday night, it could be the fact that people have to work the next day. They couldn't get the day off. But yeah, man, it never works when you take for 5 hours or something. And I think Mania has got to the point where it's way too long, and especially being 2 days, it's crazy. But yeah, I could see that. I could see the crowd getting antsy and wanting to leave or not wanting to care anymore. So I get it. I get it totally. But I also get that one more time, a shameless plug for CowboyRevolution.com. Go there at CowboyRevolution.com and at checkout use code JamieT123 for 15% off. And with that being said, my man, I think it's about time to skedaddle out for this week. We may be here next week. Now, listen, guys, we may be here next week for a podcast, depending on how Christmas goes and all that good stuff with the families and friends, and if we with work and time, right? If we're not here next week, we'll be back to next week, 100% for sure. And the next podcast we do have, we are lining up a guest. We will let you know in social media outlets who that guest is after it's confirmed 100%. But the next podcast, we are having a guest. I'm looking forward to that, Mikey. Long time coming. So with that said, my man, everybody out there, if we are not here, we won't be here till at least next Friday. If we're not here, we won't see you before Christmas. So I'm going to tell you Merry Christmas is what I'm getting at. So Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope you enjoy the podcast. Let us know what you think for real at the email address on the screen. And if you're listening, it's WrestleRef123@gmail.com. And let us know what guests you want. We'll try our best to get them too. Indies, whatever. Let us know who they are. And with that being said, yep, there we go. Merry Christmas. And all I got to say is peace, peace.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
All right, everybody, have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.